The first project you're going to have to do is to create a chart of colors. The piece that you see in front of you is my chart of colors. The first top row shows you each of the colors that I have in my collection. And you will notice that it goes from full saturation to 10% of that color. You can see a step-by-step range of values for a particular color. You did something like this when you took watercolor 1, but we're going to advance this now where we will create a series of charts. Next on my page here is a chart that uses all of these colors mixed with cadmium lemon. But because you only have 8 pigments in your kit, we will just create a chart with those 8 pigments. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tape this copy sheet from your assignment sheet onto my watercolor block. And then using a triangle or a ruler, whatever you happen to have convenient, to mark the grids off onto the watercolor block. So I'm going to take my triangle and I'm going to line it up with these squares and mark it off on my drawing watercolor paper so that I have marks for all of these shapes. Now, if you want to do it by measuring, you can do this by doing 3/4 inch blocks with an 1/8 of an inch space between them. But since I've made this up for you and you can print it out, this is probably going to be the easiest way to do this. And then you have to do the verticals also. I'm going to mark the top and the bottom of the watercolor paper going all the way across and all the way down. So you'll end up with 2 sets of grids on one sheet. Now I've marked off all of the dimensions for this grid. So now I will take off the guide, and you can see on my watercolor paper I have all of these little tick marks. So it's just a matter of lining them all up and creating your working grid. So when you do this, please use, a hard pencil and don't draw real dark. You don't want the pencil marks to interfere with the colors. And the pencil will also mix in with your watercolor. So I'm going to do this all the way across and all the way down. You have to do 4 pages like this in order to create the mixes for all of your pigments in your kit. So I'll do a few this way, and that will give me a full set of boxes from which to work. Okay. So at this point, I have all of our grids penciled in, and we are ready to start painting. You can see here on the chart that there is one group here, and then there is a second group down here. This first group is going to be your actual pigments. So this chart here will be Winsor Lemon. This will be cadmium free yellow light. This will be Scarlet Lake. This will be Permanent Rose. This will be French Ultramarine Blue. This will be Prussian Blue. This will be Burnt Sienna. And this will be Neutral Tint. Down the side, we will have 100%. We will have 85%. We will have 50%. we will have 35%, and we will have 10%. Your 10% will all be the same value, the same lightness, and you will have to go to your grayscale in order to match values. Keep in mind that lemon yellow will be much lighter at 100% than Prussian blue will be. So you're going to have to make adjustments in order to balance these percentages for each individual color. That's going to be part of the challenge for creating these charts. This shows the tint charts we did in watercolor 1. You will be doing something similar to this, except you will not be including Winsor Violet and Sap Green. As you can see, this chart has 8 steps to get from a 10% value to a 100% value. If we line up our value scale against this, you can see that the pigments do not go all the way to 100% dark. So you're going to have to figure out where a value hits. The Scarlet Lake looks like it hits at about 60%. Your full saturation for Scarlet Lake will be about a 60% gray value. That means that from here to here, where is our halfway point? So somewhere in here is 50%. So somewhere in here is going to be 85%. Somewhere in here is going to be 35%, probably closer to the 30% that's actually on the chart itself. So this might help you when you have to mix these colors, because you are going to be working with a much shorter value range. Now with the yellow, as you can see, we're pretty much where we need to be. We could probably make this cadmium yellow pale a little darker, and then go from there, because you can see the range in yellow is very, very limited. This is how we will work at this point.